Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. The Washington quarter dollar of 1965 holds a fascinating place in the history of American coinage, and collectors all around the world are always thrilled to discover more about this unique piece. At first glance, it may look like just another coin used for everyday purchases in the mid-20th century, but when you take a closer look, its story becomes one of transition, rarity, and unexpected value. The year 1965 marked a dramatic turning point for American coins. Prior to that year, Washington quarters were struck in 90% silver, giving them not only monetary value but also a lasting richness in design and quality. However, due to the rising price of silver in the early 1960s, the government decided to change the metal composition. From 1965 onward, quarters were no longer made of silver, but of a clad mixture of copper and nickel. This shift was monumental, and it made the 1965 quarter the very first of its kind. It was a coin that reflected the economic pressures of its time, while still carrying the same proud portrait of George Washington on the obverse. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan back in 1932, the image of Washington remained the same, but what lay beneath the surface of the coin had forever changed. Collectors today know that most 1965 quarters are common, struck in the millions and circulated heavily throughout the nation. However, hidden among these are rare varieties, mint errors, and surviving high-grade examples that stand apart. It is these rare pieces that excite treasure hunters and make the 1965 quarter a legend among coin enthusiasts. The beauty of the 1965 Washington quarter lies in its simplicity. The obverse shows Washington's profile, sharp and dignified, with the word liberty inscribed above his head. The motto, "In God We Trust," sits proudly to the left, while the year 1965 rests at the bottom. Every detail was carefully struck, though with the new clad composition, the look and feel of the coin changed noticeably from its silver predecessors on the reverse side. The eagle with outstretched wings remains the star of the design. The bird sits firmly on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches, representing both strength and peace. Above it is the phrase, United States of America, and below is the denomination, quarter dollar. This design gave the coin an unmistakable presence, one that would remain unchanged until 1999 when the state quarters program began. Now, what truly makes some 1965 quarters valuable is not just the change in composition, but the mistakes that occurred during production. During the transition, some planchets, or blank coins, intended for earlier silver quarters accidentally found their way into presses. These rare silver-struck 1965 quarters are among the most sought-after errors in U.S. coinage. Another factor that influences value is the grade of the coin. Most circulated 1965 quarters show heavy wear, as they were used constantly in daily commerce. Finding one in pristine condition, with sharp details and original luster, is like finding a diamond in the rough. Such examples are often certified by professional grading companies, and they command remarkable prices at auction. The story of the 1965 quarter is also a reminder of how economic decisions can shape even the smallest objects in our daily lives. A coin that once bought a cup of coffee is now a tangible artifact of the moment when silver disappeared from American pocket change. That historical connection alone makes it worth preserving. Collectors often speak of the thrill of discovery, the idea that a rare treasure could be hiding in plain sight. The 1965 quarter embodies that excitement because while millions were made, only a select few possessed the qualities that set them apart as extraordinary. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that survived nearly 60 years, passed through countless hands, traveled through decades of history, and yet managed to remain in exceptional condition. The 1965 quarter can tell stories of the past, while still holding immense potential for the present. The fascination with quarters from this year also stems from the fact that it marked the start of an entirely new era in American coinage. The clad coinage of copper and nickel became the standard for decades to follow, and the 1965 issue stands as the gateway to that new world. For coin enthusiasts, The hunt for a rare 1965 Washington quarter is one of patience, passion, and persistence. Whether searching through old rolls of coins, estate collections, or flea markets, the possibility of finding a remarkable specimen always lingers in the air. The Washington quarter design itself carries a patriotic charm. George Washington, the nation's first president, remains a symbol of leadership and unity. Pair that with the eagle, another proud American emblem, and you have a coin that resonates deeply with national pride. It's worth noting that while most people in 1965 likely paid little attention to the changes in their pocket change, today we see those details as crucial pieces of history. What seemed ordinary at the time has become extraordinary in hindsight. The rarity of certain 1965 quarters also underscores the importance of paying attention to the smallest differences in coins. A tiny variation in weight, color, or strike can mean the difference between a coin worth 25 cents and one worth a fortune. The excitement around the 1965 quarter continues to grow as collectors share stories of rare discoveries. Some have stumbled upon valuable pieces in change, while others have inherited coins from relatives that turned out to be hidden treasures. These stories inspire new generations to look closely at their own coins. The market for rare coins has always been driven by both scarcity and demand. When a 1965 quarter with exceptional qualities appears, collectors are willing to compete fiercely to add it to their collection. This demand fuels higher values and keeps the coin in the spotlight. The artistry of the coin should not be overlooked either. Even though it was mass-produced, the Washington quarter has a timeless design that captures the essence of American ideals. That alone gives it a lasting appeal beyond its metal content or rarity. As more time passes, surviving examples of rare 1965 quarters only become scarcer. Coins are lost, damaged, or worn beyond recognition. This makes the hunt even more thrilling, knowing that the supply will never increase. Collectors often emphasize the importance of protecting coins in holders or cases to preserve their condition. The better a coin is preserved, the greater its value in the long run. That is especially true for a transitional coin like the 1965 quarter. The sense of mystery surrounding these coins also adds to their charm. Which quarters were struck on leftover silver planchets? Which ones escaped heavy circulation and remain in gem condition? These unanswered questions keep the pursuit alive. For investors, rare coins like the 1965 Washington quarter offer a unique opportunity. Not only do they carry historical value, but they also represent tangible assets that can appreciate over time. For historians, the 1965 quarter stands as a marker of economic change in America, where rising silver prices forced innovation and adjustment. It shows how even something as small as a coin can reflect larger global shifts. For casual collectors, the thrill might simply be in owning a piece of history that still jingles in pockets today. It connects the past and present in a way that few objects can. Each coin is a time traveler, and the 1965 Washington quarter is no different. From the hands of a cashier in the 60s to a collector's showcase today, it carries memories and meaning across generations. The beauty of numismatics lies in these hidden stories, and the 1965 quarter has plenty to tell. From design to transition to rare errors, it offers lessons in history, economics, and art all wrapped into one dot. And while most 1965 quarters may only be worth face value, the rarest and most exceptional examples can command staggering prices at auctions, capturing the imagination of collectors everywhere. The next time you come across a 1965 Washington quarter dollar, take a moment to look closely. You never know if you might be holding a treasure that has survived through history, waiting to be discovered. And some of these coins have been valued at an astonishing $200,000. Top 2. The Washington quarter dollar from 1966 is far more than just a simple piece of pocket change. It carries with it an entire era of American history, economic change, and the beauty of numismatic artistry. For collectors and treasure hunters, this coin represents the thrill of finding something rare and remarkable in the most unexpected places. The year 1966 was a continuation of a great transition in U.S. coinage. Just 1 year earlier, the government had ended the long tradition of striking quarters in 90% silver. Rising silver prices had created a shortage of coins, and to keep the economy stable, the mint introduced clad copper-nickel coinage. The 1966 quarter became part of this new era at first glance. Many people at the time barely noticed the difference. To them, the quarter still bore the same familiar face of George Washington, a design that had been in use since 1932. But beneath the surface, everything had changed. The once silver coin was now made of layers of copper and nickel, bonded together to create a durable but different-feeling piece of currency. For collectors today, the 1966 quarter dollar stands as a symbol of this turning point in American coinage. It marked a break from tradition and the start of decades of clad coinage that would dominate U.S. circulation. That history alone gives it an important place in any collection. The obverse of the coin proudly displays Washington's profile, sculpted by John Flanagan. His gaze is steady and dignified, surrounded by the word liberty above and the motto, "In God We Trust," just to the left. Below the portrait lies the date, 1966. Anchoring the coin in its time. On the reverse, the eagle spreads its wings wide, perched firmly on a bundle of arrows while framed by olive branches. This striking design combines strength and peace, a timeless symbol of the United States. Around the eagle's head is the phrase, "United States of America," and below it is quarter dollar. Despite the new metal composition, the familiar artistry remained unchanged. But what excites collectors most about the 1966 quarter isn't just its design, it's the possibility of rarity. During these transitional years, mistakes at the mint sometimes created coins with unusual qualities. These rare varieties, whether due to striking errors, unusual planchets, or exceptional condition, have become the true treasures of this series. One of the fascinating details about the 1966 quarter is that it was struck during a time when the U.S. Mint suspended mint marks. From 1965 through 1967, no quarters carried a D or S mark to indicate where they were produced. This decision was made to discourage hoarding, as people were clinging to silver coins. As a result, all 1966 quarters appear identical in that respect, which makes other unique features even more important, because they were produced in massive numbers for everyday use. Most 1966 quarters show heavy wear and scratches. They passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, gas stations, and vending machines, slowly losing their shine. Finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is extremely difficult today. It is those rare high-grade examples that drive collectors wild. A 1966 quarter with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal marks is not just a coin. It's a survivor of history. These coins often undergo professional grading, where they are carefully inspected and given a numeric score that determines their value. The story becomes even more thrilling when you consider the possibility of errors. Some 1966 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets, creating a hybrid rarity that is worth a fortune. These coins weigh slightly more than the clad versions and have a brighter, more distinctive ring when tapped. Other striking errors include off-center strikes, double-die varieties, and coins struck on misaligned planchets. To collectors, these mistakes are not flaws but prized jewels of the numismatic world. Each one represents a rare moment when the machinery of the mint created something unintended yet extraordinary. Imagine the excitement of discovering such a coin in loose change. For decades, stories have surfaced of ordinary people stumbling upon rare quarters, unaware that the piece in their hand could be worth thousands. This sense of possibility is what keeps the hunt alive. The 1966 quarter is also significant because it connects collectors to the everyday history of America. It was a time of social change, space exploration, and shifting cultural values. To hold a quarter from that year is to hold a tangible piece of that era. While millions of 1966 quarters still exist in circulation, only a tiny fraction possess the qualities that make them truly valuable. This scarcity creates excitement at auctions, where bidders compete to own the best examples. The value of a coin is not just measured in its metal content, but in its rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1966 quarter demonstrates this perfectly. A common, worn piece may be worth only its face value, but a rare error or mint condition specimen can be worth a staggering sum. Collectors often advise new hobbyists to pay close attention to the details of their coins. The weight, the edges, the luster, and the strike all tell a story. With a trained eye, A simple pocket find can transform into a life-changing discovery. The Washington quarter design itself carries a timeless appeal. Washington's portrait reflects dignity, while the eagle on the reverse symbolizes national strength. Together, they form a coin that is both functional and artistic, a balance that makes American coinage admired around the world. Protecting coins like the 1966 quarter is essential. Professional holders, cases, and careful storage help preserve their condition for future generations. After all, every scratch or mark can affect value as years go by. The rarity of uncirculated or error coins only increases. More coins are lost, damaged, or overlooked. This makes the surviving examples all the more special, and collectors know that time only adds to their worth. The 1966 quarter also teaches us a lesson about change. What once seemed like an ordinary decision to remove silver from coins now represents a monumental shift in U.S. history. It shows how even the smallest objects can carry stories of entire nations. For those who collect coins as investments, the 1966 Washington quarter offers more than just beauty. It represents potential, with values that can rise significantly depending on rarity and demand. For those who collect for history, it is a window into a turbulent decade of American life, one that saw immense progress and challenge. Owning a 1966 quarter is like owning a piece of that history you can hold in your hand. Even casual collectors are captivated by the thrill of the hunt. The idea that an overlooked coin could turn out to be worth far more than expected is enough to spark curiosity in anyone. The numismatic world thrives on these stories, and the 1966 Washington quarter continues to inspire excitement. Whether found in an old coin jar, a family collection, or purchased at auction, it holds a special place among U.S. coins. Each coin is a time capsule, and the 1966 quarter is no exception. It carries the legacy of its year, the artistry of its design, and the mystery of its hidden rarities. When collectors come together to share their finds, the 1966 quarter is often a star of the conversation. Its role in American coinage makes it unforgettable, while its potential value makes it irresistible. And while many 1966 quarters may never rise above their face value, the rarest, most pristine, or most unusual examples have been known to reach truly astonishing prices. Some of these extraordinary pieces have sold for as much as $190,000. Top 3. The Washington quarter dollar of 1967 is a fascinating coin that continues to intrigue collectors, historians, and everyday treasure hunters. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary piece of pocket change, but hidden within its story is a chapter of American coinage that marks a pivotal transition. The mid-1960s were a time of great change for the United States Mint. Just 2 years earlier, silver had been removed from the nation's dimes and quarters due to rising silver prices and a severe coin shortage. For centuries, coins had been struck from precious metal, but by 1965 the government could no longer afford to produce silver circulating coins. The 1967 quarter became part of this new era of clad coinage. Unlike the silver quarters of the past, the 1967 quarter was made of copper and nickel bonded together, giving it a different look, feel, and sound. For many Americans, this change was hardly noticeable at the time, but for collectors and historians today, it represents a huge turning point in the nation's monetary history. The obverse of the 1967 quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington. Sculpted by John Flanagan in 1932, Washington's profile is bold and commanding, with the word liberty inscribed above his head and the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left. The date 1967 rests at the bottom, anchoring this coin firmly in its time. On the reverse, the American eagle takes center stage. With wings spread proudly, it perches atop a bundle of arrows while surrounded by olive branches. Above its head is the phrase, "United States of America," while below reads the denomination quarter dollar. The design speaks of peace and strength, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. What makes the 1967 quarter particularly unique is that it was struck during a special 3-year period when the U.S. Mint removed mint marks entirely. From 1965 through 1967, no quarters bore the small letters indicating whether they came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This was done intentionally to discourage hoarding and to ensure the new clad coins circulated freely. Because of this, all 1967 quarters appear the same at first glance. Without mint marks, collectors must look for other distinguishing features to identify special varieties. This lack of mint marks adds a sense of mystery and challenge when collecting coins from this time. The sheer number of 1,967 quarters produced was immense, as the mint worked tirelessly to meet the demands of circulation. With so many coins released, most were used heavily in everyday commerce. They passed through vending machines, grocery stores, and gas stations, slowly wearing down and losing their original brilliance. Finding a 1967 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition is therefore a challenge. Such coins are considered rare survivors, often certified by professional grading companies, and can be worth far more than their face value. The excitement also comes from the potential for minting errors. Transitional years often produce unusual mistakes, and the 1967 quarter is no exception. Some examples may have been struck with misaligned dies, double strikes, or other anomalies that create one-of-a-kind rarities. Another intriguing factor is the possibility of coins being struck on leftover silver planchets. Though rare, such mistakes have occurred in other years during the mid-1960s transition, and collectors always remain hopeful of finding one in the 1967 issue. Even without silver, the 1967 quarter holds an undeniable charm. It represents a moment when the U.S. Mint was adapting to economic pressures, innovating with new materials, and ensuring the country had enough coins to function smoothly. Collectors often describe the thrill of searching through coin rolls or old jars in the hopes of uncovering a hidden gem. The 1967 quarter is one of those coins that fuels such dreams, as the rarest examples can turn up unexpectedly. Condition is everything in numismatics, and the 1967 quarter proves this point well. A heavily circulated piece may be worth only 25 cents, but one with dazzling luster and sharp details can command attention and admiration at auctions. The Washington quarter design itself deserves recognition. Washington's portrait conveys leadership and resolve, while the eagle on the reverse reflects national pride. This combination of artistry and symbolism makes it a coin that never goes unnoticed. For many, holding a 1967 quarter is like holding a piece of American history. It carries the essence of a decade defined by social change, exploration, and innovation, while also reflecting the nation's adaptation to new economic realities. The decision to remove mint marks during these years is one of the most fascinating aspects of this coin. It was a bold step taken to stabilize the economy and control public behavior, and today it serves as a reminder of how deeply coins can influence society. Collectors know that the value of any coin depends not only on rarity, but also on demand. The 1967 quarter continues to captivate collectors because of its transitional story and the possibility of finding high-grade or error examples as time passes. The number of well-preserved 1,967 quarters naturally decreases. Coins get lost, damaged, or worn beyond recognition, which only increases the rarity and desirability of surviving gems. Stories of people discovering valuable coins in everyday life only add to the excitement. Imagine finding a rare 1967 quarter in loose change or among a relative's old collection. What seemed ordinary could suddenly become extraordinary. The world of numismatics thrives on these discoveries. The 1967 quarter may seem simple, but its place in history makes it a coin worth seeking out, studying, and treasuring. Investors are also drawn to the coin because of its potential. Rare coins often appreciate over time, and the most exceptional 1967 quarters have already proven their ability to fetch high prices. Historians view the coin as a tangible reminder of the economic challenges of the 1960s. It tells the story of how the United States adjusted to a changing world, where the value of silver forced innovation in the smallest yet most essential objects. It's money. Casual collectors, meanwhile, enjoy the thrill of simply adding this transitional coin to their collection, connecting them to a broader narrative of American culture and progress. Each 1967 quarter is a tiny time capsule, carrying within it the story of its year. From the pocket of a bus driver to the till of a small-town diner, it traveled through history before landing in the hands of collectors today. The artistry, the history, and the hidden potential all make the 1967 Washington quarter a coin of enduring fascination. It is not just a piece of metal, but a piece of America's story. When collectors and enthusiasts gather to discuss coins, the 1967 quarter often sparks lively conversation. Its unique context, its lack of mint marks, and its place in history make it unforgettable. And while many 1967 quarters may remain ordinary, those rare, pristine, or error examples have astonished collectors with their remarkable value. Some of these extraordinary pieces have sold for as much as $180,000. Top 4. The Washington quarter dollar of 1991 may seem like a regular coin that people used for everyday purchases, but for collectors, it carries a charm, a story, and in some cases, an incredible value that sparks excitement in the world of numismatics. What was once common pocket change is today a potential treasure waiting to be discovered. The early 1990s were a fascinating time in U.S. coinage. The Washington quarter design, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, was still in use. Decades later, in 1991, that same design continued to symbolize leadership, patriotism, and history, even as the nation prepared for changes that would soon arrive with the state quarters program later in the decade. That on the obverse of the 1991 quarter is the classic portrait of George Washington by John Flanagan. His profile stands strong, reflecting dignity and strength. The word liberty sits above his head. In God We Trust appears to the left, and the date 1991 is neatly placed at the bottom. This side of the coin connects directly to the American identity. The reverse of the coin is equally striking. It features a bold eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath. Above it reads, United States of America, while quarter dollar rests below. The simple yet powerful symbolism of strength and peace gives the coin timeless appeal. In 1991, quarters were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with mint marks P and D appearing just to the right of Washington's ponytail. The San Francisco Mint also produced proof coins with the S mint mark, struck with extra care for collectors. These details make every 1991 quarter slightly different, giving collectors various options to pursue. The composition of the coin remained copper-nickel clad, a standard used since 1965 when silver was removed from circulation. Though no longer containing precious metal, these quarters hold their own special place because of their design and the possibility of unique varieties. For many collectors, the excitement of the 1991 quarter lies in the discovery of rare errors and high-grade examples. Errors during the minting process, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned planchets, can transform an ordinary quarter into a valuable rarity. Each mistake creates a one-of-a-kind coin that collectors eagerly chase. That high-grade coins are also incredibly important. Most 1991 quarters circulated heavily in everyday life, making pristine examples difficult to find. A coin with no scratches, sharp details, and brilliant luster is rare, and when professionally graded, such coins can reach remarkable values in the market. Proof coins from San Francisco also play a role in the story. These coins were struck with mirrored fields and frosted designs, intended specifically for collectors. While most were preserved in collections, some still stand out as exceptional pieces of artistry and craftsmanship. Beyond its physical attributes, the 1991 quarter reflects a moment in American history. It was a year of transition and change for the nation, and coins from that time serve as tiny reminders of the daily lives of people 3 decades ago. The Washington quarter design itself had already become a symbol of stability by 1991. After nearly 60 years in circulation, it remained a cornerstone of American coinage, recognized instantly by millions. For collectors, owning a 1991 quarter is like owning a continuation of that proud tradition. The appeal of these coins is not only in their design, but also in their scarcity and higher grades. Coins that survived decades without entering circulation are now highly prized, making them far more than just pocket change. Collectors often share stories of finding rare 1991 quarters in coin rolls or old jars, proving that treasures can still be uncovered in the most ordinary places. These discoveries fuel the excitement of the hobby and keep the hunt alive. The eagle on the reverse is especially admired by collectors. Its powerful wings and commanding presence capture the spirit of the nation, making it one of the most enduring designs in U.S. coinage history. When it comes to rarity, error coins from 1991 are among the most intriguing. A double die obverse, where the lettering or design appears doubled, can be worth a small fortune. Similarly, an off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing adds uniqueness that collectors crave. The market for these coins continues to grow, with collectors worldwide seeking out the rarest and most pristine examples. Auction houses often showcase the finest specimens, and bidding wars break out as enthusiasts compete to secure them. For new collectors, the 1991 quarter serves as an excellent entry point into the world of numismatics. It teaches the importance of detail, patience, and preservation while also providing the thrill of chasing a hidden gem. Condition, rarity, and demand all play roles in determining the value of a coin. The 1991 Washington quarter proves that even modern coins, if preserved perfectly or struck with an error, can be incredibly valuable. The coin also carries sentimental value. For many, it represents childhood memories, the sound of pocket change, or a connection to a specific year in their personal lives. That emotional connection only adds to its charm. Over the years, the 1991 quarter has become more than just a coin. It has become a collectible that bridges everyday life and extraordinary value. Each coin carries with it the possibility of being far more than what it seems. Collectors often say that the best part of the hobby is the hunt itself. Searching through coins, learning their stories, and finding something rare is an adventure that never loses its appeal. The 1991 quarter embodies that adventure perfectly. As time passes, the number of high-grade 1,991 quarters naturally decreases. Coins are lost, damaged, or worn down, making those that survive in top condition increasingly valuable. Investors see the potential in rare coins like the 1991 quarter as well. Unlike many collectibles, coins have both historical and tangible value, making them a stable and fascinating investment. Historians, too, value these coins because they connect directly to the past. The 1991 quarter is not just a piece of currency. It is a piece of American heritage, reflecting the artistry and economy of its time. Even casual collectors enjoy the thrill of owning one. Whether it's a pristine proof, a rare error, or simply a quarter that sparks nostalgia, each coin has its own unique story. The Washington quarter design would continue for only a few more years before the state quarters program dramatically changed the look of U.S. quarters in 1999. That makes the 1991 issue one of the last of the classic eagle reverse design, adding to its significance. Every coin tells a story, and the 1991 quarter tells one of tradition, transition, and hidden treasures. It is a small piece of metal with a big legacy, carrying meaning far beyond its 25-cent face value. The joy of collecting coins like the 1991 quarter lies not only in the possibility of financial gain, but also in the chance to hold history in your hands. Each coin connects the present to the past in a way few objects can. And while most 1991 quarters may only be worth their face value, the rarest, most pristine, or error examples have been known to sell for astonishing amounts. Some have even reached as high as $95,000. Top 5. The Washington Quarter Dollar of 2021 is one of the most exciting modern coins in American history, a coin that blends tradition with new designs and stories that make it fascinating for collectors and everyday people alike. While many might dismiss a coin from this recent year as ordinary, hidden within the 2021 issues are treasures that can be worth a surprising fortune. The year 2021 was particularly important because it marked the very end of one era and the beginning of another in U.S. coinage. Since 1932, the Washington quarter had been a familiar sight in pockets and purses, but by 2021, it had gone through many redesigns, most famously the state quarters and America the Beautiful Quarters programs. This year was a turning point where new ideas in design took center stage. On the obverse, the 2021 quarter continued to feature the strong and dignified portrait of George Washington. Sculpted originally by John Flanagan, Washington's face has been a symbol of leadership and unity for nearly a century. The word liberty crowns the top of the coin, while In God We Trust stands proudly to the left, and the year 2021 rests beneath the portrait. The reverse side, however, is where the year 2021 truly shines. It was the year that saw the end of the America the Beautiful Quarters series, which honored national parks and historic sites, and the introduction of the Washington crossing the Delaware design. This dramatic design shows Washington boldly standing in a boat during the famous Revolutionary War crossing of the Delaware River, a powerful moment captured in coin form. This imagery immediately captured the imagination of collectors. The detailed design shows Washington holding his sword, surrounded by the flowing waters, and it stands as a tribute to both his bravery and America's fight for freedom. It made the 2021 quarter one of the most beautiful modern coins in circulation. The coin was struck at several mints, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each marked by the respective P, D, or S mint mark. The San Francisco Mint also produced proof coins, which are struck with special care, showcasing mirror-like fields and frosted designs that collectors deeply admire. Although millions of 2021 quarters were made, what makes some examples incredibly valuable are errors, varieties, and exceptional condition. A coin with a double die, an off-center strike, or struck on the wrong planchet can suddenly transform from pocket change into a highly desirable rarity. Collectors especially look for quarters with dramatic minting mistakes, as these become one-of-a-kind pieces. The thrill of knowing that a factory error created something so unique adds to the coin's mystique and market value. Another factor that influences value is grade. Most coins quickly enter circulation, where they suffer scratches, wear, and loss of luster. But a coin preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition can be worth far more than its face value, especially when graded by a professional coin certification service. The 2021 Washington quarter is also important because it bridges two eras. It concluded nearly a decade of America the Beautiful Quarters, while also setting the stage for the American Women Quarters program that began in 2022. For this reason, collectors see 2021 as a milestone year, making its coins particularly significant. The Washington crossing the Delaware quarter became instantly popular not just with collectors, but with the general public. It celebrated one of the most iconic images of the Revolutionary War, placing a piece of history directly into the hands of everyday Americans. But the appeal of this coin is more than just design. It's the possibility of rarity. Stories of unusual 2021 quarters fetching extraordinary prices at auctions have fueled excitement among coin enthusiasts and casual hobbyists alike. For example, high-grade proof coins from San Francisco, when preserved perfectly, are in great demand. Similarly, coins struck with special errors or variations in die details can command impressive sums. The beauty of coin collecting lies in the possibility that anyone could stumble upon a treasure. A coin found in pocket change, overlooked by millions, could turn out to be an extraordinary rarity. The 2021 quarter is a perfect example of this thrilling possibility. Collectors often emphasize that coins are not just money, they are miniature works of art. The artistry of the Washington portrait and the dramatic Delaware crossing design makes the 2021 quarter a standout even among modern issues. History plays an equally important role. Holding a 2021 quarter is like holding a piece of the story of America's resilience, its fight for independence, and its continued pride in its heritage. This makes it not just currency, but a cultural artifact. Even though billions of quarters circulate across the country, the small details set the valuable ones apart. The sharpness of the strike, the luster of the metal, and the presence of minting errors are all qualities collectors pay close attention to. The 2021 quarters also remind us that even modern coins can carry significant value. Many people assume only old coins are rare or valuable, but modern issues prove that treasures can appear at any time. For those new to coin collecting, the 2021 quarter provides the perfect entry point. It teaches the importance of studying details, understanding mint marks, and appreciating both artistry and history in the smallest of objects. Investors are equally intrigued by modern rarities. Coins that appear ordinary today can become tomorrow's high-value collectibles, especially when demand rises and supplies shrink. The 2021 quarter is proof of this growing trend. Auction houses have already seen dramatic bidding on exceptional 2021 quarters, particularly those with unusual errors or flawless condition. These stories inspire more collectors to check their own change with excitement and curiosity. The the value of coins also lies in their connection to memory. For many, a 2021 quarter might mark a special personal year, making it emotionally valuable as well as historically significant. Every coin tells a story, and the 2021 Washington quarter tells one of transition, patriotism, and artistry. It is both a continuation of the Washington quarter legacy and a bold step into new designs that as years pass. The 2021 quarters in pristine condition will become scarcer, increasing their appeal and desirability. Collectors know that time adds value, especially to coins preserved with care. The Washington quarter has always been a symbol of American strength and leadership, and the 2021 issue carries that tradition forward while adding new layers of meaning. For numismatists, the coin embodies the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the satisfaction of preserving history for future generations. Even casual observers can appreciate its design, its symbolism, and its role in closing one chapter of American coinage while opening another. The artistry, history, and hidden rarity make the 2021 Washington quarter a coin of lasting fascination, one that will continue to attract collectors for generations to come. And while most 2021 quarters may only be worth their face value of 25 cents, the rarest and most pristine examples, especially those with errors, have been valued at an astonishing $35,000.